Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text arrived at 11:43 p.m. I almost ignored it. It came from an unknown number and contained only 6 words. Ask your wife about Ryan. My stomach tightened instantly. Ryan wasn't just a friend. He'd been my best friend for nearly 15 years. He stood beside me at my wedding. He was the first person I called when I got promoted. The man was practically family. I stared at the screen while my wife, Emma, slept beside me. At first, I laughed it off. Some prank. Some jealous person trying to cause trouble. But sleep never came. The next morning, I casually mentioned Ryan's name during breakfast. Emma's reaction lasted less than a second. A brief pause. A slight tightening around her eyes. Then she smiled. How's Ryan doing? She asked. Too quickly. Too carefully. For the first time, something felt wrong. Over the following weeks, little things started piling up. Ryan stopped dropping by unexpectedly like he used to. Emma started taking phone calls in other rooms. Whenever I entered the kitchen while she was texting, her screen would suddenly go dark. None of it was proof. But together, they created a quiet discomfort I couldn't shake. The worst part was that I blamed myself first. Maybe I was becoming paranoid. Maybe work stress was making me imagine things. Maybe that anonymous text had planted a seed that shouldn't have been there. Then one Saturday evening, everything changed. Emma was showering when her phone lit up on the coffee table. I wasn't trying to snoop, honestly, but Ryan's name flashed across the screen. My heart stopped. The preview showed only part of the message. Miss you already. I froze. The room suddenly felt too warm. Too small. My hands shook as I stared at the screen. The phone buzzed again. Another message. This time I opened it. I wish I hadn't. Months of conversations filled the screen. Secret lunches. Private jokes. Late-night messages. And then the words that shattered my marriage. I love you. Not from her. From him. Followed by her reply. I love you too. I felt physically sick. My chest hurt. The woman I loved and the man I trusted most had been building a relationship behind my back, while I sat at family dinners with both of them. Every memory suddenly looked different. The vacations. The birthdays. The game nights. How many times had they looked at each other while I sat there smiling like a fool? I couldn't stop shaking. When Emma walked into the living room, she immediately knew. The color drained from her face. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, I held up the phone. What is this? My voice barely sounded like mine. She sat down slowly. Then she started crying. Not dramatic tears. Not movie tears. Real ones. The kind that come from knowing there's nowhere left to hide. It wasn't supposed to happen, she whispered. I laughed bitterly. Because what else was there to do? People don't accidentally fall in love through hundreds of messages. They make choices. Over and over again. For nearly an hour, she told me everything. It had started emotionally. Ryan had been helping her through a difficult period when I was buried in work. Conversations became daily habits. Daily habits became secrets. And secrets became something neither of them stopped. What about me? I asked. The question hurt more than anything else. She lowered her eyes. I never wanted to hurt you. I hated that answer. Because hurting me was exactly what had happened. Intentions didn't change reality. Later that night, I called Ryan. He answered on the second ring. The silence between us felt heavier than any argument. Finally, he said, I'm sorry. Just 3 words. After 15 years of friendship. After all the trust. After all the memories. 3 words. I expected anger. I expected shouting. Instead, I felt exhausted. Like someone had reached inside me and removed something essential. Over the following months, my marriage slowly unraveled. There wasn't one dramatic ending. No slammed doors. No screaming matches. Just 2 people sitting across from each other, realizing trust had died. And once trust dies, love struggles to survive. The divorce was finalized nearly a year later. I haven't spoken to Ryan since. Sometimes people ask whether I miss him. The truth is, I miss who I thought he was. I miss who I thought my wife was. But those people existed only in my imagination. Looking back now, The betrayal wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was accepting that loyalty can't be forced. Love can't survive without honesty. And trust, once broken, never returns in the same shape. The day my marriage ended wasn't the day we signed divorce papers. It wasn't even the day I found the messages. It was the day I realized that the two people I trusted most had been choosing each other, while pretending to choose me. That realization broke my heart. But it also saved me. Because sometimes losing the people who betray you is the first step toward finding yourself again.